Welcome back to our channel 217 Prince YT. The chapter begins. A piercing scream splits the air as the battlefield trembles. From the shadows, a figure dashes forward, his body wreathed in lethal intent. His speed is terrifying, the earth itself quivering as the grass bends in the wake of his momentum. His eyes glow with a murderous gleam, a blade drawn back, ready to strike with merciless precision. The ground shudders as his presence surges closer, unseen yet deeply felt. A sudden clash erupts, blades of golden light colliding violently against the shadow soldiers. Sparks and shockwaves tear through the air, the shadows staggering under the ferocity of his assault. Suho stands at the center of the storm, his body tense, his aura dark and commanding. His sharp eyes narrow, glowing faintly purple, as he observes the battlefield. The camouflage skill of an assassin-type hunter, he mutters inwardly. The golden arcs slice through the air faster than the eye can follow. Suho's heightened senses pick up faint footsteps, an assassin's presence slipping around him. Although I can faintly hear the steps due to my sense stat, all I can do is dodge. I can't retaliate. His body shifts, weaving through the deadly strikes, every movement precise, leaving no opening. Yet his opponent remains hidden, attacking with relentless speed. Meanwhile, high above in a flying vessel, the apostle watches silently. He sits with arms crossed, eyes burning with quiet intensity as the chaos unfolds below, the city bathed in the dying glow of sunset. Currently, Kong Taeshik's power simmers at the higher thresholds of S-rank, his aura sharp, refined, and deadly. Against such might, Suho's current state seems insufficient, his strength not yet enough to topple an opponent of this caliber. But Suho's eyes do not falter. His breath steadies, the chaos around him fading as his voice cuts through the silence. Apostle of the Iterum, you're listening, aren't you? The words hang heavy in the air. From the shadows, something stirs. A quiet, questioning response ripples through the apostle, his expression betraying unease. Suho's gaze sharpens, his tone steady, unwavering. I wanted to talk to you again when the opportunity came. Images of shadowy beasts flicker around him, writhing and restless, their presence tethered to his will. Suho's voice grows colder, resolute. Up until now, I've moved without revealing my existence. For one reason, his thoughts echo within, louder than the roars of the battlefield. Because if you learned about me too soon, it would have been a risk too dangerous to take. But clarity strikes him now. The truth he had been circling finally takes form. Why is someone who calls themselves the invader from outer space hiding in the shadows, never revealing themselves? Why use star fragments as pawns to control others? His eyes narrow, violet lights sparking at the edges. Doesn't that mean the apostle of the Iterum revealing themselves would be a risk as well? The shadows around him shiver, answering his accusation with silence. Suho continues, his words like sharpened blades. But then, after Lee Min-sung's incident, you began to reveal yourself. Slowly, piece by piece. He watches as the energy writhes, as if the very world reacts to his deduction. For someone who had been hiding to suddenly appear, it can only mean one thing. You're preparing something. The battlefield trembles as Suho steps forward, his aura unraveling into a storm of shadow energy. The words slip from his lips, burning with both challenge and revelation. Tell me, are you, like me, a being who grows? His voice reverberates like a vow. I won't hide myself any longer. Shadow energy coils around him like a living beast, and Suho's presence towers, dark, radiant, and unyielding. From the depths of swirling shadows, a commanding voice echoed, laced with power and certainty. So you'd better come out. The air split apart as dark energy flared, and Suho emerged, wrapped in a violent aura, his body pulsating with malicious force. Shadows writhed around him, as if dragged into existence by his will alone. Suho's gaze sharpened, violet light flickering in his eyes. The tension shattered in an instant. Blades clashed, darkness sparked. His movements blurred as he attacked, his strikes reverberating like thunder. With each clash, arcs of shadow energy erupted, shaking the battlefield. And then, a chilling notification pierced through the chaos. Notice, level up. Suho's lips curved into a deadly smile as his power surged. Shadows coiled tighter around him, and his killing intent swelled, drowning the air. His voice cut through the battlefield, calm yet merciless. "Come at me, apostle of the Iterum." The words struck like a blade through silence. Elsewhere, high above in the hovering aircraft, tension brewed. The apostle stirred, sensing the surge of energy. His name was called, hesitant, questioning. Hunter Park Dojin, but his reply was cold and dismissive, hiding the storm behind his eyes. "It's nothing." Yet deep within, his resolve wavered, as though the words Suho had just spoken carried a weight he could no longer ignore. The golden glow in his eyes narrowed into a sharp gleam as he whispered with a shadowed grin. "Sung Suho." His voice was like a hiss, dripping with malice, as though savoring the name. Meanwhile, beneath the burning horizon, Suho raised his hand with calm authority. The battlefield trembled as he spoke the word of dominion. "Arise." From the ground, dark smoke surged upward, coiling into monstrous forms. Two figures began to emerge, their twisted silhouettes bound by shadows. Their faces froze in shock, unwillingly dragged back from death. Suho's voice was cold, unwavering. "You said you two were the ringleaders behind this mess. Do you even know how many people died because of you?" The shadows roared as the violet light wrapped tighter around them. Suho extended his hand, dark energy flowing like a torrent. "So take your punishments." His words echoed like a verdict from a judge. With the decree cast, his power surged violently. "You're going to have to fight for me from now on." Shadow creation. A tidal wave of darkness swept the corpses. Wrenching screams tore through the air as they twisted under his command, their resistance drowned by Suho's will. The night itself seemed to kneel before him. But then, something strange stirred, an unfamiliar pull. His eyes widened slightly. Purple light erupted from the shadows. "What is this?" His breath hitched for the briefest moment. Before his eyes, the shadows were no longer just bodies. They were extracting power, items, essence itself. The shadow is drawing out the items itself. Darkness coiled, ripping the remnants of the fallen into armaments, their screams lingering as their forms solidified into new might at Suho's command. Suho's eyes narrowed as he examined the shadowy essence coalescing in his grasp. "This one's a rare grade," he murmured, as the shadow solidified into a black cuirass glimmering with dark energy. A notice appeared before him. Shadow item, Swindler's Armor. Creation grade, rare. Type, Armor, cuirass. Defense, +30. Health, +4. Before he could finish, another item began to emerge from the shadows, this time radiating with a far greater intensity. "And this one's a heroic?" First time getting that grade. The item pulsed with killing intent, revealing itself as a dark, ominous ring. Shadow item, Killer's Ring, unsealed. Creation grade, heroic. Type, accessory, ring. Agility, +10. Effect, skill camouflage level 1. Mana cost, 200. Conceals your physical body and temporarily obscures all traces of your presence. 10 mana consumed every second camouflage is active. A new notification flared. Notice, creation grade heroic for shadow items has been unlocked. More windows cascaded before his vision. Notice, you are able to imbue names into the items to make them special items. Notice, would you like to name it? Accept/decline. Suho paused, recalling. Imbuing a name? Right, didn't the shadow item contract have that kind of effect? Another system explanation followed. Skill, shadow item contract level 1. Class exclusive skill. No mana required. The skill bearer can imbue a shadow item with a unique name to make it a leveling item. Only applicable to heroic grade or higher. Item stat increase value, 30%. His eyes glowed with determination as he raised the ring, declaring, "Create name, Kira." The air crackled, shadows roaring around him as the ring pulsed with newfound life. Notice, a manual has been created for shadow item name imbuing. The details flooded in. A shadow item imbued with a name is able to level. It will be bound to the first wearer. Other players unauthorized to equip. A level will be added to the item, and its experience shared with the wearer. As it grows, its stats during its time as a shadow soldier will be shared. The finalized description emerged before his eyes. Shadow item, hero level. 1. Creation grade, heroic. Strength, +3. Health, +3. Agility, +13. Intelligence, +3. Sense, +3. Effect, skill camouflage level 1. The ring glimmered darkly as he slid it onto his hand. Power surged up his arm, shadows curling around his fingers. A faint glow lingered on Suho's ring as he clenched his fist, determination flashing in his eyes. He muttered to himself, astonished by the discovery. A level appeared on my item, and the stats of its shadow soldier state will be shared with me. The realization hit him hard. If I can get items higher than heroic grade, I can grow stronger much faster. A sharp breath escaped his lips as a thought surged in his chest. With this ability, I'll be able to reach my father a bit sooner. But before the hope could fully take root, the ground trembled violently. A massive, clawed hand tore through the earth, its aura bursting with terrifying force. In an instant, the air erupted with chaos. Suho's shadows clashed violently against the monstrous force, their dark figures shredded apart by overwhelming strikes. "What's wrong, young monarch?" Baru's voice echoed with concern. Suho's reply came low and steady, gaze fixed ahead. "Something is defeating all the shadow soldiers over there, and it's approaching me." A bead of sweat trailed down his face, but his resolve hardened. "It's coming." With a thunderous crash, the colossal beast surged forward, smashing through the plaza with raw fury. Debris exploded around them as the creature landed before Suho, its roar shaking the very sky. The young monarch braced himself, eyes glowing with shadowy fire. The true battle was only beginning. The ground shook violently as the colossal white beast slammed its paws onto the earth, its golden eyes gleaming with a predatory glint. Dust and debris scattered as its aura surged outward, shaking the battlefield. "I ran all the way here after seeing a black pillar," the beast growled, its voice low and guttural, vibrating through the air. Its eyes narrowed, studying Suho intently. "A hunter? What are you?" Suho's gaze sharpened. The creature's intelligence was clear. It spoke. He clenched his fists, shadows flickering faintly at his side. "A talking magic beast? What's it doing here?" But the beast smirked, revealing rows of jagged teeth. "You must be mistaken. I am not a magic beast. I am the guild master of White Tiger Guild, Beck Yinho." Suho's eyes widened slightly in realization. So this person is the White Tiger Guild master. It was mentioned that he was an S-rank with a rare transformation ability. Beck Yinho stepped forward, his massive, beastly form towering over Suho. His nose twitched as he sniffed the air, then his face twisted into a grimace. "I smell the thick stench of blood from you. What are you?" "I'm a hunter here to save the people." Suho's voice was steady, unwavering. The beast's golden eyes glinted. "What's your name?" "Sung Suho," he replied firmly. "I know the Hunters Association is after me, but I'm innocent." Beck Yinho threw his head back and laughed, a booming sound that rattled the air. "So you were him. How bold of you to openly lay out the fact that you're wanted." His laughter stopped abruptly, his eyes narrowing with sharp focus. "Suspicions of distributing star powder, was it? We even happen to have a member in the White Tiger Guild who suffered damages thanks to star powder." His monstrous jaws snapped, flashing his teeth as he loomed closer. "If you really are innocent, how are you going to prove it?" The tension thickened as Beck Yinho's aura pressed down on Suho, but Suho didn't flinch. His voice is calm yet cutting. "Could we save this for later? I do happen to be a bit short-handed, so it's a relief that an S-rank hunter is here." His eyes gleamed with determination as the battlefield trembled around them, shadows swirling at his command. Suho looked up, unflinching. "Up and go save the people." Beck Yinho's towering beast form loomed over Suho. Are you even aware of your position?" With calm conviction, Suho replied. "Still, a hunter should save people first." Beck Yinho's golden, beastly eyes widened, a flicker of recognition and surprise cutting through his hardened expression. Memories stirred, echoes of a voice, long ago. "If we hesitate for even a second, people who could have survived may lose their lives. So instead of contemplating what choices we'll make the necessary choice first. Then contemplate how to make it the correct choice. Isn't that our job as the rescue squad?" Beck Yinho's breath caught. His beastly gaze sharpened, then softened. "Wait," he muttered, realization dawning. He studied Suho's face intently. No wonder I've heard that name somewhere. A deep chuckle escaped his throat, turning into booming laughter. Sung Suho, that was the name of the grandson the captain always used to brag about. Beck Yinho's beastly features faded as his transformation receded, and a broad, astonished grin spread across his human face. You're Captain Sung Il-hwan's grandson. The evening sun dipped low over the city, staining the sky and river in crimson hues as soldiers patrolled the bridge with unease. Their boots struck the pavement with weight, their voices betraying the fear they tried to suppress. Squad leader, will it be possible for us to take care of the rampaging awakeners by ourselves? One asked, the trembling edge in his tone cutting sharper than his rifle. Not even bullets work against them, he muttered, gripping his weapon tighter, knowing it was nearly useless. Orders bound them, yet dread gnawed at their hearts. Well, what else can we do? We gotta follow orders. Still, the air felt strange, charged with something unnatural. Haven't you noticed? The atmosphere of the city's been off for a while now. Yeah, came the reply, heavy with unease. It feels kind of chaotic, right? Then the silence shattered. The bridge trembled beneath the sudden roar of chaos. A monstrous figure surged into view, claws slashing with blinding speed, scattering prisoners and steel alike as though they were nothing. Flames and destruction followed in its wake. And then, Suho burst forward from the shadows, his aura flaring violet, eyes burning with resolve. He met the prisoners head-on, fists colliding with a force that split the air itself. After finishing the prisoners in the battlefield, Suho and Hunter Beck stood silently. Amidst the storm of violence, Hunter Beck's eyes gleamed with recognition. A deep, rumbling laugh escaped its maw. To wield such power with just a summoning skill, as expected of Captain Sung Il-hwan's pride. Suho's gaze narrowed, realization dawning. And then came the words that tied bloodlines and generations together. You're quite amazing too, Guild Master Beck Yinho. S-rank hunters really are different, after all. A booming laugh echoed through the carnage. Just call me uncle. The battlefield crackled with energy, past and present intertwining in the firelit dusk. The battlefield is in chaos, fires raging and debris scattered everywhere. Suho's voice echoes. For now, I've been noisily ransacking the whole place. As you ordered, he says, flames crackling across his form. Beck Yinho turns, golden eyes burning with conviction. But won't the villains just hide then? A heavy pause follows before Beck answers, his voice firm and unwavering. Seems like you're just a newbie of the rescue squad. Suho mutters under his breath, but I'm not in the rescue squad. Beck clenches his fiery fist, eyes narrowing with purpose. Our job isn't to get the villains, right? It's to save the people. The ground shakes as Beck slams his foot down, unleashing a shockwave of power that ripples through the city. Dust and heat explode outward in a fiery dome. The more we show our presence, the harder it will be for the villains to act, he roars. This way is much better if we consider the safety of the people. Suho looks up at him, realization flickering in his gaze. Definitely, from a certain point, I've only been thinking about taking down the villains. He stares at Beck, watching the way he carries himself, a man who shoulders the weight of an entire guild. So this is a guild master, whose job is to oversee an entire guild. Beck turns suddenly, his intense expression breaking into something almost casual. Suho, do you happen to have a girlfriend? No. Suho replies flatly, caught off guard. Beck beams, his golden eyes lighting up with mischief. That's good. My daughter happens to be single as well. This is a great opportunity to become in-laws with Captain Sung Il-hwan. Suho's eyes widened. What? Before he can answer, the whir of rotor blades cuts through the sky. A helicopter descends rapidly, kicking up dust. Inside, the Hunters Association chairman watched closely. Yes, Hunter Beck Yinho, comes the firm reply from inside. Beck Yinho stood on the ground, red hair whipping violently in the wind, eyes locked on the chopper. It has been confirmed, she declares, her voice carrying the weight of authority. The city square trembled under the weight of chaos, yet amid the storm, order was being restored. Groups of frightened citizens and wounded hunters were ushered to safety, guided by determined hands. The chairman's voice echoed, firm yet humble, Great work. You evacuated the dispatched hunters and the ordinary citizens. But the reply came with quiet resolve. I only did my job as a hunter. From the shadows, black figures lurked between the panicked crowd and the wreckage of destruction. Their eerie forms twisted like smoke, faceless and unknown. Wu's eyes narrowed on them, suspicion tightening. I see black figures in between the villains committing acts of terrorism. Yet the uncertainty remained. I'm not sure either. It's hard for me to discern them at the moment. A blade of tension cut through the air. The seasoned hunter, his expression carved with decisiveness, stepped forward. Then it should be fine for me to eliminate them, yes? But before the words could settle, his body surged forward, leaping with lethal grace into the blazing sky. I'll wipe them out along with the villains. Gasps followed as his power flared like a burning comet. Wait, a desperate voice cried, but it was too late. Lim Taegyu had already unleashed his attack. His arrows of destruction carved the horizon, streaking through the heavens like judgment itself. From the safety of the helicopter, the chairman's eyes widened in alarm. Hunter Lim Taegyu. The words trailed, dread weighing them down. Well, that's... The hunter descended like a spear, eyes gleaming with unshakable focus. In the chaos below, the black shadows marked in red like cursed targets, every single one illuminated in his sights. Dozens of bullseye marks shimmered across their dark forms, the atmosphere crackling with impending annihilation. The heavens opened, and the earth braced for ruin. Lim Taegyu spiraled downward, his weapon glowing with furious brilliance. The city beneath bathed in crimson crosshairs. With a roar, he released his fury, the ground shaking with the promise of devastation. The skies above the city shatter with a deafening roar as a massive surge of energy tears through the horizon. A blinding streak of power descends like a meteor, slamming into the earth below with an eruption that rattles the entire battlefield. The shockwave rips through the streets, scattering shadows like leaves in a storm. Once advancing with unshakable confidence, recoil in terror. Their bodies convulse as the searing light pierces their darkness, and anguished shrieks echo through the burning city. They crumble and collapse, their forms consumed by the brilliance of the strike. Suho, eyes sharp and unflinching, stands amidst the chaos. His gaze shifts to the side where Beck Yinho, still in his monstrous transformed state, narrows his glowing eyes. Suho's voice rumbles, low yet firm. Is that? Beck Yinho doesn't answer, but his steady expression says enough. Beck Yinho's lips curl into a confident snarl. Don't worry, he's on our side. The battlefield quakes with anticipation, the arrival of a powerful ally turning the tide in this war of shadows. Suho's lips curved into a faint smile, relief flashing across his face as the battlefield shifted. The S-rank hunters have come as reinforcements from the Hunters Association. That's great, but the battlefield is far from over. Through the haze of smoke, the whisper of death seeped into his ears. Found you, sung Suho. For a heartbeat, the world stilled. A chilling vision struck him. Lee Min-sung's portrait framed in white flowers, incense smoke curling upward. A funeral altar. The suffocating voice echoed again. If only you hadn't distributed the star power. The sky erupted with a violent blast of red and blue energy. It collided like the clash of gods, tearing apart the horizon. Suho's heart pounded as he staggered back, barely bracing himself against the raw force of the attack. His instincts screamed. He twisted, just as a lance of pure energy shot straight toward him like a spear of judgment. The shockwave rippled through the battlefield, cracking the air apart. Suho darted aside, his body moving on reflex, yet the attack pursued with unrelenting speed. His eyes widened in alarm. Beck Yinho's fist crashed forward, his monstrous strength splitting the air as his body swelled with power. The impact reverberated like thunder, a reminder of the hunter Beck that lurked within him. Suho stood by, watching intently as the battle between conviction and misunderstanding grew heavier with every word. From across the shattered ground, Hunter Lim's voice cut through, sharp and unyielding. His eyes gleamed with cold suspicion as he demanded an answer. Hunter Beck Yinho, why are you with a wanted criminal? His gaze flicked towards Suho, the weight of judgment heavy in his tone. Beck's expression hardened. There seems to be a misunderstanding. Let's talk this out first. He stepped forward, his massive frame looming protectively near Suho. Yet Hunter Lim refused to listen, his stance rigid, his voice venomous. He's the one who refused his chance to talk, who defied the association's summons and ran away. Sung Suho is a villain. Yunho's brow furrowed, his teeth clenched in anger. Calling him a villain out of nowhere. His eyes flared with fire, his voice thunderous. I get that you're confused because of Lee Min-sung, but Suho has been trying to save people. But Hunter Lim's conviction only grew colder. His bow gleamed as he pointed it directly at Beck. What's your relationship with him, Beck Yinho? His words sliced through the tension like steel. Beck's silence lingered for a moment, his golden eyes narrowing with restrained fury. But before he could speak, his muscles rippled, his body blazing with flames of power. Seems like words won't get through your skull. His voice was low, guttural, animalistic. The hunter Beck surged forward as his form exploded with blazing energy, the ground trembling beneath his feet. With a terrifying grin, he growled, I'm going to have to calm you down first. The clash of overwhelming auras shook the battlefield. They are colliding in a storm of destruction. Suho steadied himself, eyes darting between the titanic figures of Beck Yinho and Lim Taegyu, both refusing to yield. His chest tightened with urgency. If they continue like this, the entire city will be reduced to ash. A fiery explosion ripped through the ground, scattering debris as shockwaves rippled outward. Flames painted the sky a blazing orange while shadows writhed in retaliation. Suho clenched his fists. What should I do? How can I stop this? Then, from within the inferno, a calm but commanding voice cut through the chaos. Everyone needs to calm their heads. Figures emerged, standing tall against the backdrop of fire and ruin. S-rank hunters, their presence alone enough to silence the battlefield. Hunter Choi's eyes narrowed with disapproval as his voice carried over the chaos. What are two hunters doing in the middle of a crisis like this? The words hung heavy in the burning air, their weight pressing down as both sides faltered, caught between combat and command. Suho's breath caught. His eyes widened as he counted them. There are so many S-ranks. Even the association chairman, Wu Jinshul, is here. Relief washed over him. Finally, a chance to end this madness without more bloodshed. Beck Yinho exhaled, relief evident in his tone. Looks like I can finally get some words in. You see, Suho's apparently the grandson of the captain I'm indebted to. I can vouch for him. But before the words could settle, a sharp interruption came. Huh. Beck's hopeful smile froze as another voice rang out, firm and unwavering. Hunter Beck Miho stepped forward, her fiery gaze fixed on Suho. Just because he happens to be related to someone you knew during your time in the rescue squad. You're aware that's not exactly convincing, right? Beck Yinho's expression faltered. Miho. And then, as if to hammer the point further, another figure emerged from the shadows of authority. Hunter Choi Jong-in, his glasses glinting coldly in the firelight. His voice echoes, I agree with Hunter Lim Taegyu. There's no reason not to arrest a fugitive who has betrayed our trust. Even Hunter Choi Jong-in. The tension in the air thickened as the battlefield fell silent for a brief, fragile moment. Dujin's sharp gaze cut through the fading embers of battle, his golden eyes unwavering. It looks like the other hunters are of the same opinion as me, Lim declared coldly. Are you going to defend a criminal all because of your personal feelings, Beck Yinho? Hunter Lim's fiery aura flared, his stance unwavering. But the words that followed carried a weight sharper than steel. Back off while you still can, Beck Yinho. His voice thundered, each syllable ringing with finality. If you don't, I'm going to have to crush you first. Yinho clenched his fists, his muscles tensing under the blazing glow of his transformation. The air between them was seconds away from igniting. Yet amidst the rising storm, Yinho's voice cut through with calm determination. Still, it would be best to talk things out. The echo of another voice followed immediately, firm and commanding. I, too, think a conversation is in order. From the shadows of the burning street, a figure emerged, his presence alone silencing the chaos. The hunter's eyes widened as they straightened instinctively. Wu Jinshul, the chairman of the Hunters Association, stepped forward, his imposing frame catching the dying light of the sunset. The battlefield itself seemed to recognize his authority. Chairman Wu Jinshul, gasped Yinho, the weight of the man's presence pressing down on everyone present. The chairman's gaze locked onto Suho, his eyes sharp, piercing, unyielding. Can you prove your own innocence? Hunter sung Suho. The words struck like a hammer, demanding truth in a moment where the world itself felt like it was holding its breath. Chapter end here. For more, like, share, and subscribe.